We have reached April of 2025, which means the summer transfer window is fast approaching. And you know what else is fast approaching? The 2026 World Cup. And this will be the last major transfer window prior to the World Cup. Because the winter one, it has less moves and less money. So the US men's national team players being in the right club situation and environment is crucial, as that can impact their form, performances, and even spot with the national team. Even though lately, many of them seem to be performing just fine for their clubs while dropping a massive stinker for the country. I call it the reverse James Rodriguez syndrome. With that said, which US men's national team players most certainly need a transfer this summer? Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today we're going to go through 5 US men's national team players that need a move this summer. So the reason for the move may be that they're just lacking playing time for their club, just in a poor club situation, or they just need a tougher challenge. Some of them have to take a step forward, others have to take a step or two backwards. But what matters is that they must make the right move. And it's not just about the league, the right club is what matters the most. And then they have to make things happen. Now, I'm not going to dive into specific clubs that these players must move to this summer because that would be a video of its own. So for this video, I won't dive into specifics of which specific club this player should go to. Now, if you want me to make a whole separate video about one of these players and what club they should go to, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll gladly do my research and tell you. I'm such a nice guy. Look at what I'm doing for you. Now, don't forget to drop a like in this video as it helps the channel a lot. And for that, I am giving you a virtual hug. Not a kiss, that's weird, but a hug. Y'all don't deserve a kiss. Now, before we start the episode, a quick word from the sponsor of this video. And thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring the channel. Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a very different way. So for that reason, we are partnering up once again with BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be extremely hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. But when it's online, you can get a therapist from anywhere in the country, sometimes even anywhere in the world. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it is online. It's remote. And by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist as little as in a few days. And if the therapist that they match you with is not the right fit for you, they will replace him or her for another therapist with no additional cost. You may sign up and register now with the link that I placed on the description of this video, which is betterhelp.com/tacticalmanagertv. That is betterhelp.com/tacticalmanagertv. Yes, we used Tactical Manager TV. That link will also give you 10% off on your first month, and in the process, you'll be helping the channel avoid bankruptcy. So once again, thank you, BetterHelp. Player number 1 is Matt Turner from Crystal Palace. So Matt Turner actually belongs to Nottingham Forest, but they didn't want him, so they loaned him to Crystal Palace. But it looks like Crystal Palace doesn't want him either, because he's just a backup goalkeeper. He simply never plays. Now let me put it this way. Matt Turner is definitely not an English Premier League level goalkeeper. As a matter of fact, I actually think he's not at the level to play on any of the top 5 leagues unless he plays for like a relegation battle team. With that said, what I'm trying to say is that he probably needs to take a step or two backwards and maybe play in the EFL Championship, maybe even come back to MLS. And I know a lot of people are going to hate on the idea of coming back to MLS, but our goalkeepers kind of suck. That might be their level these days. The US men's national team needs better goalkeepers, but until we don't have any of them, we at least need all of our options to be sharp, and Matt Turner still is one of the options. Actually, he might even still be the starter, unfortunately. So once again, we're going to be 1 year away from the World Cup, and Matt Turner is probably still our starter, or at least he's fighting for that starting spot. So we want him to be sharp. He needs to find a place where he'll play. So if that's MLS, so be it. Go back to MLS. Player number 2 is Diego Luna from RSL in Major League Soccer. So Luna turns 22 this year, and it's time to go abroad. Okay, his current market value is around 6 million euros. I don't know how much RSL would want for him, but I would imagine it'll be something around that. Now, he hasn't really been dominant in MLS, but he has been good, and he has moments with flashes of talent. I said this many times, I don't really think he'll ever be a starter for the US men's national team, despite him showing all that passion, grit, and actually playing well against the rude Canadians, but I still don't think he'll be a starter. I believe he can contribute, but not start for the national team. He needs a move this summer. It's time. Go somewhere where he can play for maybe a top Eredivisie team and get some Champions League minutes every season. Then maybe around age 25, he can test himself in a top 5 league. I don't think he's ready for a top 5 league right now, but he could go play for a PSV, Ajax, Utrecht, get some Europa League soccer, Champions League soccer, and then after 2 or 3 seasons, go to a top 5 league and keep your progress, right? Development doesn't have to be rushed. You can take it slow. Playing time is important, and making the right move this summer is what matters. Otherwise, he might as well stay where he is. Even though I'm not for him staying where he is, but he must be patient and he must make the right move. However, he is 22, or he turns 22 this year, and a move to Europe is past due. And again, when I say Europe, I say a league better than MLS. I don't want Diego Luna going to play for the San Marino League or even the Croatian League. There are going to be some Croatians that are going to hate me for that comment. But anyhow, player number 3 is as obvious as Matt Turner, and that's Gio Reyna from Borussia Dortmund. And right now, I don't even look at his market value. I can't see a club paying more than 5 to 10 million euros for Gio Reyna, and Dortmund's going to probably have to deal with that. His contract expires in the summer of 2026, so I think Dortmund will be willing to sell Gio so they at least get part of the money, right? And at the same time, maybe they can keep a percentage of a future fee. But the fact of the matter is, Gio Reyna has to leave Dortmund, and Dortmund kind of has to sell him this summer. And even when you watch him play for Dortmund on the very few minutes that he does, it seems like the dude has kind of clocked out. It doesn't seem like he cares. Now, at the time of this recording, this doesn't matter too much when I'm going to talk about minutes because I don't think it'll change. The dude barely plays. The past 3 seasons, Gio Reyna has played 550 minutes this season, 590 last season, and 1,000 minutes 2 seasons ago. So it has been trending down kinda, but that's a total of 2,100 minutes across 3 seasons. For context, Christian Pulisic has 2,600 minutes this season, and he still missed a full month due to injury, and the season ain't over. Gio Reyna needs a move, urgent, and he needs to take a step back. Maybe a mid-table Italian team, or maybe a mid-table Spanish team in La Liga. Maybe go to the Eredivisie and play for a top club and probably dominate. I would avoid MLS if I was him. I don't think it's the same situation as Matt Turner. I think Gio Reyna can play in a top 5 league. But he should definitely avoid Liga. That's a little bit too physical. And keep in mind, Gio Reyna has a new agent. He's no longer with Jorge Mendes. And if I'm not mistaken, the new agency also works with Malik Tillman. So perhaps if Malik Tillman leaves PSV this summer, that could open up space for Gio Reyna to maybe go to PSV. And I would actually love that. He would get plenty of minutes, score a lot of goals in the Eredivisie, do very well, and it'll get him in good form, get his confidence back up for the 2026 World Cup, as long as he stays healthy, of course. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, a move to PSV, and I'm not getting into specifics, but he changed his agent, he's got a new agent, and it could happen. Hopefully Dortmund sells him though. I would not want a loan. It has to be a permanent move. Gio Reyna needs a new home and a club that believes and trusts him. Player number 4 is Yunus Musah from Milan. And many of you might disagree with me, but hey, he's getting plenty of minutes for Milan, which is true. But over the past 3 to 4 seasons, including his time with Milan, it feels like he has stagnated or even regressed. On top of that, a lot of the coaches keep playing him in a position that he kind of isn't very good, which is out wide. Musah offers close to nothing in the final third. I'm just saying it. I'm just calling a spade. That is a fact. Now, when he plays as a central midfielder, there are multiple occasions where he can be useful. What I think needs to happen here is Musah needs a season-long loan, not sale, right? Don't sell him, Milan. He can still be useful in the future, but he needs a move to a club where he's more of a protagonist, where they need him to perform in the midfield, put that pressure on him, not Milan, a weaker team. where he has to be the protagonist as a central midfielder. That might actually help him develop, I think, because with Valencia, he did also play a lot and it didn't really feel like he developed. But once again, it would have to be a loan. And honestly, I think that would be good for Milan because I don't think he's at the level that they need right now. But one season, playing a lot for a different club at a high level, he might develop and be a useful player for Milan in the future. And Musah getting better would benefit the US men's national team a lot. He also needs to improve his consistency because we've seen Musah play well against, for example, England in the World Cup. That's an amazing team filled with great Premier League players. We've seen him play well against multiple teams in multiple different occasions at a very high level. But I also can't remember the last time I saw Musah or watched him play 2 good consecutive games. He'll have one game where he'll be outstanding, then he'll suck for many games or just be mediocre for multiple games. So again, I think he needs a move. You let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with my reasoning, even though I am mostly right, like 97% of the time. Player number 5 is Haji Wright from Coventry in the EFL Championship, and his current market value is around 8.5 million euros. So this season, a very bad ankle injury hurt his stats and his minutes. But so far, in 1,200 minutes that he was able to play, he got 10 goals and 1 assist. That's almost a goal contribution every 100 minutes. Now, last season, he had 16 goals and 7 assists. I think it's time for Haji to leave the EFL Championship, and there's actually one specific league that I really want him to play for, and I want him back in the Bundesliga. I think he will thrive there. As many teams play in transition, it's a league that's very transition-oriented. A lot of teams like to play on the counterattack. And many years ago, he was a Schalke player. At that time, he obviously wasn't ready, but he has developed after many years in Turkey and some years in England. I think now Haji Wright could thrive, specifically in the Bundesliga. He's a much more mature player, more developed. I really think he would do well for a mid-table team that plays in transition, which honestly, it's most of them. Now that I thought about it, I know I said I wasn't going to get into like specifics of clubs, and I could dive into it in a separate video for Haji or Gio or whoever you want. But I think Gladbach would be an interesting fit for Haji Wright. If you watch them with Joe Scally, you would see there could be a spot there for Haji, and he could maybe do well. But my overall point is that Haji needs to leave the EFL Championship after the season, somewhere that he'll play consistently, and I think the Bundesliga is a level above, obviously, the EFL Championship, and it might be a great fit for him as well. All right, so before we wrap things up, I'm going to kindly request for you to hit the like button. Now, you don't really gain anything from that, but it also doesn't really hurt you unless you have problems with your finger. Then I totally understand if you don't do so. I'm going to give you also some honorable mentions. So the first one before we close this video is Johnny Cardoso. I don't think he needs a move, but I am 99% certain that he will get a move this summer. It's not confirmed to be Tottenham, I just want to make that clear, but Johnny Cardoso will likely leave Real Betis this summer. Not confirmed, but it likely will happen. Now, A-Rob will be someone that many are saying that he has to leave Fulham. I don't think he should leave Fulham. I think Fulham is his level, which is a great level. He's been great there, and I think A-Rob should most certainly stay with Fulham. It's perfect for him. The other one is Gianluca Busio. Now, if Venezia is relegated, he should seek a move. Now, you may be asking, where should he move? I don't know, but honestly, playing again in the Serie B, the second division of Italy, he might as well go back to MLS if that's the case, okay? And are they going to get relegated? Probably. They most certainly will, actually. Venezia, at the time of this recording, I would bet a lot of money that they're going to get relegated. With that said, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. I hope you had a great time with this episode. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Let me know in the comment section down below 5 US men's national team players that need a move this summer. Now, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day.